I don't know if you have to accept that, Sandra. Sorry, share my screen.
Can you do now?
Yep. All right. Now, all right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. So again, thank you guys for being here, making the time. Like Zawar mentioned, we are LG engineers are the consultants hired by Mechoopda to work on the Tribal Long Range Transportation Plan update. And Charlotte Hall also introduced herself. Like she said, she will be our public outreach coordinator for this job. So just wanted to go through a quick agenda with you guys, just so you have an idea of what to expect. So we're going to just quick intro to the project. We want to provide the framework for the tribal LRTP update, as well as our scope of work, the proposed study area, our proposed public outreach plan, as well as our immediate next steps. So today's goals, again, just introduction. We want to introduce the advisory group to the project as well as its scope of work. And we want to provide an opportunity for feedback. You know, the tribe recognizes that you guys are its community partners, and they would like to ensure that the tribal LRTP is reflecting that appropriately. So everyone kind of introduced themselves already, but again, we just have between Mechoopda, we're mainly working with Sandra and Derek as our point of contact. And then within LLG Engineers, so Zawar is our project manager, and Yi, Pongshang, and myself will be working on with him with support. And then Charlotte, again, is our public outreach. So just a quick background timeline. So the tribal LRTP was last updated in 2019 and it was adopted in January 2020. And these tribal LRTPs typically have about a 5-year lifespan. So looking ahead, they already applied for and were awarded the Caltrans Sustainable Transportation Grant back in fiscal year 2023. So we had our project kickoff in June 2024, and we're looking for a project completion date of this fall. So just going over our framework for the tribal LRTP update. These are kind of the 4 tenets that we want to focus to in this LRTP. So first being connectivity. We want to identify and evaluate present and future transportation needs for the tribe with a focus to connectivity that will support any of their future development opportunities, protect the existing community resources and traditional spaces, and enhance the use of the tribe's land by its members. And we want to provide a cohesive, connected transportation network. Safety is also a main priority. We want to prioritize a safe environment for all of the road users throughout tribal land. We want to provide safe and convenient public access to their reservation. And we want to complement any of the surrounding public transportation facilities as part of, an area-wide transportation network. And of course, the LRTP is heavily influenced by public outreach. We want to engage the community, including tribal members, other local stakeholders, and you, the advisory group members, to ensure that this tribal LRTP reflects the needs and priorities of the community and its neighbors. And Charlotte Hall will go over our public outreach program a little bit later. And then lastly, we want to focus to priority projects. So after all the analysis and the community feedback is complete, we want to develop a prioritized list of recommended improvements or construction projects to meet existing and future needs and identify additional funding sources beyond the Tribal Transportation Program, TTP, if available. And just to go quickly through the scope of work, so starting off with advisory group and project management, we want to provide clear communication between the entire project team, tribal staff, and you, the advisory group members. And then we're going to focus to the existing conditions analysis. So this is where we will identify and review existing conditions and background data to guide the preparation of the tribal LRTP update. So this would include existing traffic conditions, review of other transportation modes beyond vehicles even, including bikes, peds, and public transportation. We want to take into account any of planned tribal development, and then we want to take a look at historical crash data and identify any safe or previously identified safety issues that we want to address in the LRTP. And all of these will be taken into consideration in the final list of priority projects. And like I mentioned, Charlotte is here to go through our public outreach, and we are planning for a community survey and 3 community workshops to gain an understanding of tribal members' needs, the results of the existing conditions analysis, and feedback on community priorities. All of that leading into the draft and final LRTP update, so where we will identify a priority project list that reflects any of the identified issues, any areas of future development, and community concerns that we received in the public outreach phase. And again, we want to identify opportunities beyond TTP funds, whether they be federal, state, or local opportunities. The tribe has already explored those options again by applying for that Caltrans Sustainable Grant. So we want to help them find any funding opportunity that is available to them. And then once all of that is done, we will resolve any remaining issues, comments from anybody, and formally adopt the tribal LRTP update. So this is our current proposed study area. You'll see here, so tribal lands are kind of mishmashed all over the place throughout Chico and the county, with of course their main, within our scope of study, we want to focus to the Wajim Kumbali site, which is the main reservation parcel. So that would be the access off of the 149. Then we want to focus to the tribal headquarters, the Miriam Park site, as well as the 99 East 20th Street ramps on how anyone from the freeway would get there, as well as the proposed smoke shop location. And now I will just hand this over to Charlotte to quickly walk us through our proposed outreach plan.
Good morning again, everyone. So the 4 plans that we generally use in projects like this, you can see at the top, we're already in the identify and define process. We're engaging right now. And Angela's already described the goals basically for this. One of the first things we'll want to do is determine a project schedule, because we will need to know when we're going to be sending out the messages. It's my experience that people first need to understand the point of a survey. So our first task is going to be under publicize, is to craft a message in conjunction with the tribe and LLG that's going to explain what the goal is and what the process is going to be, and send that information out to the tribe, maybe post it someplace that's at the office, so people become acquainted with the concept that we're doing. Then we will be ready to ask them for feedback. So the first one is just step 1, telling them we're going to be asking them, getting them acquainted with that. Under solicit input, obviously, we're going to be determining the questions. Angela and Zoar have already made a nice start on determining that. We will figure out what the questions are going to be. And initially, we believe that we're going to do the survey both as an online questionnaire and as a printed survey. However, that could change based on discussions with the tribe. And the tribe will be disseminating it. So I will create it and they will disseminate it. Then we are going to remind them, because people forget to do that. I will also be tabulating the results. Most of the questions are going to be multiple choice, although we probably will have some areas where people can actually write in responses. It's a little harder to tabulate those, but sometimes you get the most relevant, most interesting input in that. Then I'll also be involved in facilitating the community workshops. It is also possible that this is going to be done as a Zoom meeting. That hasn't been decided yet, whether these are going to be in person or not. But we'll be preparing announcements, trying to get as many people involved in this as are interested in it. And after each meeting, we'll be compiling information and using that for LLG to do their final analysis and proposal. I think that summarizes it.
So like Charlotte said, we're basically currently in that formulating stage, like crafting our message and preparing our public outreach. So our immediate next steps would be data collection. We'd like to finalize the project study area, and then we'll go out and we'll do traffic counts so we can get a baseline of the existing conditions in the area. Then we'll go to our public outreach once we work with the tribe on formulating this, refined that last set of questions. We'll launch that community survey and then focus to the existing conditions report, in which we will document everything that I had mentioned previously on what we were looking for in existing conditions. And then we will schedule our first community workshop. The content will focus to the findings of the existing conditions report, just to give the public kind of a baseline understanding of where the transportation network is and what they could be looking for in the future. So that brings us to the end of our presentation. I'd like to just open the floor in case anyone has any comments or questions at all, and Sandra, Zawar, Charlotte, and I can try to answer them as best as possible.
And you don't have to have, like, if you come up with questions later, just email me and I can share them with the consultant. We printed this so you can take it with you. And I know that this is like new information you just received, so I'm sure you won't have any meaningful comment for us, but this is our baby step to our first infrastructure for our reservation.
I just have a little feedback, or not feedback, but comment for stuff the city's working on right now. So at your North Cedar, West Sacramento location, right now we have a project planned to reconstruct North Cedar. That's going to be constructed next year, next summer that'll start. We use some REAP funds, actually from DCAG. And so leveraging that, obviously, part of that component is serving your properties there on North Cedar and West Sacramento. So essentially, it's mostly a road rehabilitation, but there's the adjacent bike path. We're going to finish off sidewalk, curb and gutter, drainage improvements kind of along that whole corridor between West Sacramento and 4th Avenue. So just for your knowledge, that's in the works right now. Again, planning on construction next year.
Are you still going to be walking off North Cedar? Because we're
from West Sac. So that's a separate project working through Caltrans and Union Pacific Railroad. Not anytime soon. We haven't nailed down the exact scope of work. That was one of the concepts. We're not really for that just because it kind of limits that local traffic circulation. But we're working through that with the railroad and the Caltrans, I forget which division that is. If you've ever worked with the railroad, you know they go very slow. So I don't have any expectation that's going to happen anytime soon in terms of like the next 3 or 4 years likely. But yeah, that's something we can continue to work on, and we'll keep you guys up.
That would be great. The whole area, like even the sidewalk, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, and there'll be some landscaping in that little gore area across the street from your property. So we'll kind of clean that up and put some nice landscaping in there, so that's an actual use of space. Yeah.
Cool.
So maybe include them when that project develops.
Yeah.
Was that it?
That's it. And then obviously for your property here, Bruce Road project is obviously in construction, will likely be completed later this summer. And so again, that's a major facility with complete streets throughout. It's 4 lanes of traffic. It's on-street class 2 bike lanes and a separated 12-foot wide multi-use path on this west side of Bruce Road. So from a connectivity of transportation perspective, as the Cancer Center also finishes out their front improvements, there will be connectivity of bike and ped facilities from Bruce Road, essentially to Alcott right here as well. So
It's beautiful.
good stuff coming along there, yeah.
Mhm.
And the Notre Dame, that improvement on Notre Dame is going to be
Great.
Is there gonna be a bike path from?
From Bruce to here.
Skyway? No, from there to Skyway?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skyway
The
to
whole-
32,
All the whole way.
separated class 4, right?
Yeah.
And then Bruce Road will have class 2, but they're also gonna have a buffer,
Yeah.
then a class 2, because it's so wide. So when you add the buffer, you narrow the perception of travel and hopefully slow them down.
Yeah.
Hopefully a lot, not because I live on the other side of the street.
Just from a safety standpoint. No, and then I'll add too, this summer, we're gonna start construction on the Notre Dame Bridge over here. So Notre Dame will then go all the way through and connect over there behind Marsh Junior High. So from a traffic circulation in and around this region, it'll be significantly improved. We're also starting this summer, we're gonna now reconstruct Bruce Road north of Highway 32. So that's just a road rehab. We're gonna clean up and improve the class 1, class 4 bike path on that west side as well over there, so.
Continuous to the park, right? That's the goal.
Up to
Eventually.
Chico, eventually we'll get to the park, but right now I'll just go up to Chico Canyon Road. So,
And
yeah,
then, speaking of connectivity, you also have the 20th Street bike crossing that
Bridge.
goes through Chapman and then your other properties, your housing there. And we thank you for your past support for that.
It's huge.
We're hoping Chico secure the funds there and that'll get done. And then, those folks can travel safely to Butte Community College or whatever, access destinations.
It'll be amazing. It'll be definitely amazing.
You're definitely anchoring Chico as a bike ped friendly town.
Still got ways to go, but
Yeah.
things to do. There's always more things to do.
There is, we're
But-
supposed to be working on a bike program,
Uh-huh,
just because our major housing developments are across the freeway.
uh-huh.
And so the tribal office is here, our clinic is across the street, so this is like a hub for us.
Yeah.
And trying to get people to use their bike, it just needs to be a change of culture for us. So that's something we need to work on.
And then we do have the downtown project that'll be coming back this year. So you guys should be receiving something here shortly as a stakeholder and that to get your input and feedback. A lot of that's going to be kind of we're going to change the name of the project to kind of downtown revitalization project. But a major component of that is improving the bike and pedestrian facilities, especially through the downtown and connecting to other facilities so that there's connectivity. So yeah, a lot of things in the works on our end, and you guys are always a major partner in those efforts. Thank you.
My notes here are in alignment with what Brendan was saying, of thinking which access routes would cross benefit, the tribe and the city of Chico, and just thinking of the active transportation program priorities, and have your consultants look at those rubrics for scoring and use this as an opportunity to gather the necessary data that there's nothing that prohibits you from applying for your own ATP projects or supporting Brendan's. So keep that in mind, like the ones you pointed out. Especially are there corridors that benefit the tribe as well as the community at large. And then, if you were to apply directly as a sponsor, then you're not subject to matching funds in the ATP. And there is not a project cost limit either. I know that the downtown project's gonna be 30+ million. And Chico submitted a DART and they were in the mid-80s, so they're in the hunt for cycle 8, and a call for projects will be released probably this time next year. So you have time, use it as an opportunity, identify those bike and ped connectivities that will elevate, everybody. That's where the money's at.
And anything you put in your document, to your point, we can take and include in our applications too, to say that they are coordinated
Yeah.
and they achieve kind of, multiple purposes of serving your needs and serving the greater community needs as well.
Perfect.
So if Brandon was to apply, where did you get this project from? I got it straight out of the Mechoopda's, long-range plan. And then whatever the outcome is here, then I will fold it into BCAG's long-range regional transportation plan, sustainable community strategy, and then that opens the door or for other opportunities.
Okay.
Keep that in mind. But definitely your consultant should be looking at the active transportation program, in particular to the scoring rubrics and other past successful applications, just to be aware of that, of like, hey, what can we do here and utilize this funding opportunity to get some meaningful projects.
And
Thank
I
you.
agree with that. And Sandra, Caltrans has the ATP cycle, so once that comes up, I'll let you know, and then that'd be a good opportunity if you want to do a more focused active transportation plan project for the tribe and for all the location, and like you mentioned, getting to the tribal center or the clinic. We can look into that in conjunction with the city, so it benefits both the city and the tribe. And like mentioned, if the tribe has a really good chance of getting funding from state and there's no matching, so that's a good thing. Second thing, that comes to Caltrans, which is a Caltrans funding opportunity. Then you also have the SS4A application, which still has 2 more cycles left, and they have like a lot of money in there. It's like $1 billion a year. So you can also put together a comprehensive safety action plan with, in addition to what the ATP you do, you also look at safety and incorporate all that active transportation and multimodal complexities in one whole packet and be able to apply for, if you get that done in time, you still have 1 cycle left to apply for the SS4A grants. Same thing there, and that's federal with no match, tribal match either. And that application, that funding round is probably going to be opening up in in a few weeks.
Adding to that, I think you should really invite Butte County Public Health to be part of this process, because they are currently working on a safety action plan or something like that. So they're in the weeds of gathering data. Chico's not included.
Is that the local road safety plan, the LRSP?
It's a safety action plan.
Okay.
But Butte County Public Health, his name's Joey Tobias, and I can email you and then you can get it to.
Okay.
But they're working on other areas that don't really have it together, I guess. The circle of trust here, right?
I'll take that compliment that we have our stuff together.
Just want to reiterate, my name is Brendan. My name is Brendan Williams. I'm being recorded.
And like you mentioned, they did get the federal grant, the Butte County, and they call it the Butte County Safety Action Plan, and they did get the
Okay,
SS4
yeah,
grant.
they do a lot of great work in getting, tracking down safety, childhood obesity, all sorts of great stuff. And they're really great staff to work with. So whatever you can take from them and fold it into here just to elevate your own plan and show the nexus between the tribe's long-range plan with the city's active transportation plan, BCAG's long-range regional transportation plan, you're just checking all the boxes so that when they do throw a dart, where'd this project come from? Well, it's consistent in all of these plans. It was derived from real tangible data. So you'll score really high.
Yeah, that'll be great. If you can send us the information, we'll get in touch with them, we'll coordinate, and also Sandra we'll let you know when the next round opens up. We've been, since cycle 1, we've held a lot of jurisdictions and cities prepared the SS4A grant application, and not to brag, but we have 100% success rate of winning the SS4A grant for all the jurisdictions as of now.
But I think whatever projects do, raise up, if you can show the nexus with the regional transit system, the other networks, show that connectivity, you'll be better off.
Okay. It's really hard for me to expand my view because it's just always just been like immediate putting out fires here and having the capacity to see that. I think we're trying to, Patrick and I are talking about bringing more professional civil engineer onto the tribe because we're at that point where like we probably need our own utility person. Yeah, we're right at that point where we need to expand like a public works department.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense. Yeah.
we were just talking about the wastewater treatment guy. I'm like, I don't know what he does all day, but you know. Yeah.
You would know if
Yeah,
if he wasn't doing his job.
Yeah.
I would know.
No news is good news.
Right.
Yeah.
In that world.
Right.
Yeah.
This stinks.
Yeah, I can send you guys some really great pictures of what happens in one day when the waste treatment guy, if something gets overlooked, it turns real messy real quick.
We don't need any pictures.
But, again, just let us help you get there, I think is the point too. Of if you have specific projects that you see as a huge benefit to the tribe, that would really improve access and whether it's vehicular or bike and ped access and circulation, again, we can kind of fold those into a lot of our plans too and help you achieve those.
Yeah, earlier I was mentioning to Sandra, as part of BCAG's long-range RTP SES, we identified, I forget how much, maybe 250,000 or 500,000 for EV charging incentive program that works towards our sustainable community strategy. And I think it was 250,000 for e-bike incentive, just try to incentivize folks to try biking, or if you wanted to build a charger here, I think we would fund like 5,000 towards the cost or whatever, something like that. So just be aware of that when you're identifying projects that make sense, whatever that may be, or locations, if you have a housing, if you want to put a charger near there that they can charge their Model S.
What?
Well, charger, something.
Yeah, we were just talking about that outside and because we have a lot of people approaching to put chargers there, approaching the tribe. But we're in this space where our tribal members really can't afford an electric car. So really, why would we put one there? And I know that California has that phasing gasoline out, but
Yeah. Well, call that out in your plan. Here's why we don't have chargers here. Throw it in there. Because at least it shows that you've looked at it, you've considered it, and why there's not there.
okay,
But if things do change, then it makes sense to have.
yeah, we're still gonna move forward with it.
Yeah.
That's something we can add that in there as like a long range wish list. That's something you would want in the future, not right now, but maybe later on.
Okay, thank you.
This is, what's the time frame of this long range plan?
So fall.
No. Is this a 20-year plan, or?
No, it's basically the lifespan of it is 5 years.
That's a short range, but you're,
So in here we are going to identify first we're going to get the wish list, and we're going to identify short term, intermediate, and long term. We're going to have.
what do you mean by long-term and?
10
short?
years, 15 years,
Okay, because our long-term is 20
20
years.
years.
So-
Yeah. Oh,
The
just to confirm, the current on file LRTP is looking at about a 20-year horizon.
It's weird because the BIA, we're under the BIA, so Bureau of Indian Affairs, and so they ask us to update this like every 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense, but this plan itself should, like he was saying, you know, short, mid, and then long term.
Okay.
Yeah. And then essentially every 5 or 6 years. you
You'll
just
update.
Update it,
Mhm.
and that's still the plan or the
Okay.
goal. But it gives you something to aim for at least.
Thank you.
I wanted to add in there, the rail was brought up a little bit. We do have the California rail. I know it's far out, but if we're talking 20 years, you know, I'm not sure where that's going to fall in that project's timeline. We are in-house developing templates for the tribes to work with local agencies such as BCAG and the counties in the local cities for connectivity to get tribal members to the rail. So I could share our draft templates. They're not final, but they're draft of what we're working on for that plan and how we're trying to partner with the tribes and local agencies to get those defined. So if that's something you want to add, or if you just want to side note it, we can.
When you say access to rail, do you mean to Sacramento? Or
No,
the Starlight or whatever it's called at 3 a.m. that passes through here?
So there's going to be the California Rail, and from what I understand, they're trying to have a passenger rail go through, almost through Biggs, through Durham, into Chico and up north.
Right.
And that's going to provide connectivity into Sacramento. So it's a far out plan. We're in the early stages of communicating it and developing those plans.
Yeah, that's way far out.
Yeah,
BCAG actually tried to program the environmental component and it was shot down by CalSTA.
I know within Caltrans, we're starting that communication with the tribes and our local agencies. So it's something I could bring the template to the table. We can look at it and shelf it, or just sidebar or note of it, however you guys want to do it.
Thank you.
Thanks. The money's in bike and ped. I can tell you that right now. I'm curious to hear from you all. What do you see as your needs in terms of transportation? Like what comes up, or what do you see?
So I think my comments to our consultant have been very narrow because I think we were focused on the reservation and 149 and Shippey Road, obviously. But that's a Caltrans road. We just want to address those concerns in here.
Mhm.
And our focus is on a reservation road that we have right now that we only access seasonally. And it leads to our roundhouse for our cultural activities. So that's like the priority for us right now, is trying to build that road.
Where's that?
It's on the road, it's behind the casino.
Oh, okay.
So it's on our inventory, but we just can't access it in the winter because of that soil out there. It's clay.
Right. Okay.
And if people do, it damages our vehicles. People get stuck out there. We have to go get them towed out. And so we can only do cultural activities there from like March until September, November. And then ideally, because we own Camelot now behind us.
You own what?
Camelot, the horse equestrian place on Clock Road.
Okay.
So we own how many acres, Patrick?
It's like 2,200 contiguous acres, of 5 different parcels, all connected together.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think like building out an internal road network to connect those properties internally,
Okay.
that's kind of what we're talking about, the priority.
We use the fire roads currently to go between the two.
So would you pursue Indian Reservation road funds to construct those to some standard?
Potentially.
So we started with I think it's called RISE grant.
Raise.
Raise.
Yeah, yeah.
Raise. We don't think we're gonna get it, but it was just our first
Yeah.
toe in the
Uh-huh.
huge puddle.
Okay.
It gave us a lot of data that we can go off and build off of for the next application.
There's always some form of that. Raise, Tiger, build,
Yeah, I think we're looking.
Protect.
protect, yeah. But the questions and the data is all the same.
Yeah, I think hopefully we can flesh out those greater community comments with our tribal members. Because this is only one clinic that we have. I think we have like 4 or 5 in town. And the tribe is only 1% of that database for patients here. We're only 1%, and it serves mainly the citizens of Chico on Medi-Cal. So we're a small percentage of the clientele of the clinics. It mainly serves the community. But I'll look at through that lens of where, because I personally live on this side of town, and all the work they've done up here, I have greatly benefited.
Or been impacted by it for the
Oh
last
my
6
God.
months.
That
Sorry.
right turn off of, what road is that? Forest onto Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The right turn there, I almost
Yeah.
got hit like 3 times there, but,
Okay.
and now it's all fixed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it. Yeah, so thank you.
Anyone have any more comments or suggestions or anything that you think we should be including in the LRTP? If not, then I think we're getting close to ending the meeting. What we're going to do next is we're going to put a meeting minutes together and put a list of people on this meeting, and then we send it out to everybody. And once we have draft existing conditions report, we'll have another meeting to go over that, and we'll keep the team updated with our community surveys and community workshops and everything.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everybody for your time and joining this call. We really appreciate that, and we look forward to working with you guys.
Hey, let me ask, you said the priorities over there out by the casino, that road, what's it called? Openshaw or?
Well, it should be off of 149 then to Openshaw.
So, is whatever transpires in here, is Caltrans going to carry that message for consideration into the shop?
What I'm going to do is take the information out of these meetings. I will share it with the functional review teams here at Caltrans, and then we'll bring back our comments of what they think needs to happen or anything that we need to be aware of or you need to be aware of that's occurring that could be a risk or could be a potential benefit.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're gonna be asking Caltrans for help.
We will, I mean, because that's
Right.
basically, that's where all of our infrastructure is going to go. Our
Right.
travel courts, all that stuff. Yeah.
And the vehicle for that is the State Highway Operations and Protection Program. So how does a project from the tribe get into the shop? And whatever that is, then that should be included in this plan. My thoughts.
That's a good point.
I'll coordinate with the project managers to see what their needs are in order for that transition to occur. But I'm
Yes.
sure as we go through these and we talk about it in-house, we'll formulate a plan, and I'll be sure to share that with all of you.
That would give them some focus and direction just to, and use this as an opportunity to make sure they get those things completed. I can keep going. Not kidding.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Good shot.
Thank you.